The show is Conversation, and my name is Elizabeth Abai. I'm tempted to ask you, how was your Valentine? Yes, that's a question a lot of people may have given you, and you must have given one answer or the other. It was good. Okay, it was working. I couldn't go to hang out. I couldn't do this, and some of us got gifts. Some of us didn't get gift. Whatever it is, Valentine has come and gone, and for me, love remains in the air. And in this studio, we're going to radiate love, but from a different dimension, dimension differently. I would want to ask what love means to you, what love or Valentine means to all of us. We're not discussing the kind of Valentine you know. They were expressing love. We're showing love. We call it patriotic love. How do you show love to your nation? Yes, that's our own idea of Valentine. And I have two ladies here with me. Devon.
Hi, Liz. It's good to be here. And, well, Valentine's Day has come and gone. It's a day, like you mentioned, that's meant to celebrate love, although it's been turned to such carnal purposes that some people don't even like identifying with it. My name is Devan Mom, and it's good to be here this morning.
And Farida.
Hi, my name is Farida Haruna. And I would love for us to discuss our patriotic love and know what patriotic love is, and people should know what patriotic love is.
Definitely. Let me even ask you, how was yesterday for you? How did you celebrate the Valentine?
Well, it was a regular day. After morning prayers, I wished everybody a happy Valentine's Day. That was essentially as far as it went. But I don't know, I've gotten beyond that point where I expect the sun, moon and stars on the 14th of February and all of that. I don't think that I need a special day to celebrate. It's good. Love is a very important thing, so of course it's good to have a day to
but it's
mark
an everyday thing for you.
Yeah, but for me, I think that love is an everyday thing in the actions you take, the words you speak, your conduct, and so on and so forth. So yesterday was it was mundane. I got a gift from my husband, which I'm sad to say I wasn't able to reciprocate. Not because I didn't think ahead, but one or two things just
you're
didn't
going to tell us today you must reciprocate.
Yeah.
You have to go. It's not.
Oh,
love,
I will.
Yes, love is every day. So if he gave you a gift,
you can give him every day. It can be today, it can be tomorrow, it can be next tomorrow.
I'm going to find a way to remedy my lack of a gift yesterday with something else during the course of February.
So Farid,
for me, it's a normal day. It's not something over the moon for me, and just normal. I slept all day.
Okay, yours is even better than me. I worked all day. I got here like 9 a.m. and I was here till almost 7, so doing the job. And giving to my organization for me is an expression of love to my colleagues who are very dependable.
Yeah.
And then of course also I was showing love to my bosses who have been very encouraging. So that day I dedicated it to my job, and I was very satisfied. Working colleagues, and they all treated me well.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so we're going to talk about patriotic love. But before we do that, some group of young people that I call my winning team and my tomorrow's leaders, did something that I particularly like. They were doing it. They didn't realize I was capturing it, but let me play it back for you.
Babe, see how fine this picture is.
Makes sense. See as I fresh. Nice. Hey, babe, how far that song now? Sing that lyrics for me.
Yes. Rexy. Rexy. What best?
Don't you know Naira Marley?
No, Dollar Mali. Who are these people now? You know me, I don't know this.
That guy that's trendy.
Babe, what's up?
Why are you angry now? What's happening?
Fine, no.
Tell us, what's happening?
Problem shared, problem half solved.
Can you imagine I gave Yemi gifts yesterday? My boyfriend. Yemi did not give me anything. Anything. Any single thing.
How can?
Okay, he told me that, after work, don't worry, I'm going to come and see you. I waited. Yemi did not come. He did not even call me.
Babe, now your face dey like this.
So painful.
No wonder this your hair tie. It be like say this your hair tie dey tell the story we want
Leave
here.
that thing, leave that thing. You even told me that, oh, I'll come to your house after work. I waited for Yemi. Yemi did not come, he did not show up.
Hey babe, this thing paying you.
He paid me.
So let me tell you, these guys, they just want to collect. They don't want give.
Tell how.
And he didn't even show face.
You get.
Now, wow, sorry, eh?
Not on my own boyfriend, like he got me a gift without me even saying anything. He's going to take me out today and tomorrow. He's even paying for my siblings' school fees. Like, it's okay now. All of them are bad.
You are winning.
See ba, my friends, as soon as just they talk, you see say I talk anything. I just did my own jeje dey smile. Because as I sit down here now, only Valentine here, Valentine here, now I dey here. Una they talk about love. Una no dey even talk about the one where suppose they press on top your mind.
Which one?
Which one is it? What I want? Tell us.
Wait, you dey ask me?
I'm asking you.
Wait, now make I ask you something. As una dey here so, how many of una get voters card?
I get, but today house.
Babe, no lie yo.
I get them now. I get them. Serious. I go bring them tomorrow. Can't show you if not like that.
I know they even vote because the ones people have been going since standing under the sun, voting for this, voting for. Where has he gotten us? Where? Let us say the truth.
You see what she dey talk? You see what she's saying?
It does not matter at this point.
Let me not even lie. I have voters card, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to stay in my house that day and just do my thing.
Exactly. Let's enjoy life.
No, seriously, what's the point? You're going to stand under this for how many hours? How many hours? We're not going to read the election. What is the point?
Babe.
Let me just stay in my house.
Babe. See ba, I'm disappointed. I'm not happy with what you people are saying. We've been complaining that our country is bad. There's no food, there's no water, there's no light. The country is hard. And you people are saying that you not vote?
Yes. What is the point?
We are the ones to give our country a better leader. If you're saying you're not going to vote, how are you going to change the condition of our country? How are you going to show you are patriotic to your nation? We sit down here, the only thing we talk, now love, oh, I don't get this gift, oh, I don't get this one. But if I'm not thinking of how you show your country love, I'm not happy to hear this.
Yeah.
We suppose get out of our mind, say we go comot, all of us, go vote. Abi una no want more children get better country. Una like the situation of our country as it is. So what we are supposed to be thinking about is how we are going to show our country love. Not be only boyfriend. Show ourselves love, show our country love. How are we going to do that? Is by going out to vote. Put in your own efforts. As you see me as I sit down here, I like love. I like am well. So as all of us they show love, I want to encourage us, make all of us, those of us who get PVC, make we come out oh, from line, make we do our obligation, make we show our country love. You understand? By the time we get better leaders, it goes sweet all of us for this country. I don't know if you get what I talk.
This is not like that.
Yes, now.
And we will not this year. Oh, when it's time for election, I will vote.
My babe, you will get your voters card and you vote next time. Now, so it's supposed to be.
See, you know I have my voters card.
I'll
vote. Don't worry.
Babe, make sure una go out to go vote to make country better.
Yes, not true.
So.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
True, your vote is your voice. If you did not play a part, then you don't have a right to complain. And if you played a part and your part is not well what you expected, then you have another 4 years to brace up. I particularly like that little piece.
Yeah.
You know, the young girls there, you know, were able to redirect, especially the lady on red, I don't know her name, they were able to redirect what they thought was the ideal love. And the one that was the spark for me was when she said, the gift you can give to your nation is to appoint a good leader, you know, to lead. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I think the you know, good and bad are relative terms, but I think that it's important for people to at least do what they can to participate in the civic responsibility of doing what they can to put those people that they think can make a difference into the right positions when the opportunity comes. In many instances, many of the people we think are good or bad are surrounded by circumstances they cannot even really control. Over time, I've come to realize that most leaders are not as powerful as we would think they are. Every leader has somebody or groups that are dictating to that person, and it's not just even a Nigeria thing. But with each time, you know, we have our election period is every 4 years. Every 4 years. So if you feel that the person who is in power is not able to meet up to what you would like, there's always that opportunity every 4 years
to change.
Or if you believe in that person so much, as long as it's not yet, because here the maximum is 2 tenures, so 8 years. You either believe in the person so much that you go back and cast for the person to make sure that the person retains power, or you go and vote for the other side so that this other person leaves office and the other person gets an opportunity. So I think it's critical that anybody who is a mature adult and has reached that age should get that PVC. Apart from the fact that you can use it for voting, you can even use it as an identification. As a means of identification. That's what I guess many people are not aware of. So I think it's critical.
Yeah, for me, when people say, "Oh, I can't make a difference. One vote my vote wouldn't count. Nothing will count." I feel for you being a patriotic citizen and your civil duty, you should vote. You should be the change. Your vote can count. People just have this ideology where, oh, my vote wouldn't count. I just believe that your vote will count. So people should get their PVC, go to the polling unit, and I heard that people are trying to scare people from going to the polling unit to vote, which is wrong. And I think if you love your country, I don't think you should put fear in other citizens by making them not to vote. Go to your polling unit, and I've heard that the country and the police are making everywhere safe, and the polling unit will be safe. So why not go and cast your votes? Show the love. It's not all about giving gifts and everything. It's all about bringing a better Nigeria for us, the youth, your kids, everybody, your family, trying to make us safe, everything. So it just boils down to that for me.
Okay, you know, I was actually going to ask you something, and that it's important for me. You More on the other side, between Devon and I.
Yeah.
I want to know what is on the mind of the young people when it comes to voting, because it's just barely 1 week away.
For now, what I said also first, I said is we young people are saying our vote wouldn't count. But I'm so happy that this election is showing people that casting your vote can make a difference. And we young people are using social media to bring awareness.
Is there any voting unit inside social media?
No voting.
I keep asking.
People
is there polling units inside social media?
No. For me, I believe social media is a way to change people's ideology, change people's mindset to certain things. And if you believe that you have somebody that you want to be in power, you can use social media to change the narrative of other people. And we young people are very active this time around, and I'm so happy seeing young people very, very active, trying to make a difference. And I hope in the next 4 years we'll still be there to make the difference.
Okay. Now, I want to believe that beyond just the young people, that the people who are probably above 40, above 50, above 60 will still be able to go up there and vote. But I've always noticed, I don't know if you have noticed too, when you count the people on the queue, it's more of people above 50 queuing up. Yes, I've tried to note that. Very few. If there are 20 people on the line, about 15 of them are between 45 and 70.
I beg to differ.
Really? Okay.
I'm not saying.
I hardly see 18.
I'm sure
see 20.
But this time around, I think it's going to be different.
I'm sure your observation is correct. But my own observation, my own experience of the election day thing is in the village where it really matters.
The grassroots.
At the grassroots level.
Yeah.
And everybody comes out. Young, old, like really old, pregnant. They come out. They come out. And it's the youth that stand there and make sure that things either go really right or really wrong. Yeah? When you hear that there's been a ballot snatched and things like that, believe me, it's not the middle-aged or the old people doing it. It's the young people. So, as a politician, any politician that, let me use the parlance we use, any politician who doesn't have a strong youth wing is joking.
Wow.
You haven't even come, because those are the people that at the end of the day will stand there and challenge what needs to be challenged or mess things up if there's need to mess things up. So in the cities, probably I've not been privileged to observe it at the city level, but at the grassroots level where things actually get done, where people will leave their farms and come and stand there and make sure that, believe me, young people constitute over 60 to 70% of the people that are standing there, and they can become a nuisance if they want to.
Okay, you were going to say something? Okay, I've been told by a lot of people that their mom say they should not go to vote, and I'm like, are you all right? Probing it further, I find out that the mothers are not saying that voting is wrong, but they're actually scared for their children. They say, don't go there because it's going to be messy. Don't go there because they're going to,
the people you're voting for wouldn't remember you.
Yes. In fact, there was somebody that was writing something. He said when they are campaigning, they go with their friends and talks. After election, they win. They go with their family members. When you see them on pictures, it's family members. But prior to that, is their friends and their talks. The younger ones. I don't know, how do we begin to address parents to leave their children to go out there to vote? But then you guide them, make them understand that what they are doing is show of love to the country we call our own, and to show that love, do the voting peacefully, do the voting the way it should be done. I don't know if you want to speak on it.
I think any parents or mothers that give that kind of advice are coming strictly from a place of physical security.
Yeah.
Not necessarily from a place of
Hate.
after you vote for them, they will not remember you. That is a common thinking, even for those who stand there and vote. But when you constantly read that violence has broken out here as a result of elections and there and the other place and so on and so forth, I think the typical parent doesn't ever want to have to see their child in harm's way and will do what they can to prevent that from happening. It doesn't make it right, but I understand the thinking behind it. It's not something I'm doing. A number of young people in my house have their PVCs. They want to go out and vote. What I'll tell them is be careful on that day. I'm not even dictating who they should vote for, but just be careful. Go there, cast your votes, stand, at a safe distance. If you think that things are trying to get nasty, leave. Yeah, but I'm not the kind of person that would say don't go there, don't vote at all. It's like saying you've heard of plane crashes, so no family member of yours should ever fly. Meanwhile, planes have been verified as the safest means of transportation compared to road or rail or all these other ones. So it's just a mindset thing.
Let me move away from voting before it becomes an election topic. And I know that the topic is the patriotic love. Beyond ensuring that the country that we love gets the good leader to give us the best and the opportunities. Farida, I don't know, what are the other ways we can show love to, our country?
For me, it boils down to simplicity. For example, just passing the road and packing garbages, debts and everything and dumping it somewhere safe. Because you can pass somewhere now, you see dustbin, you see dirty, you see so many things. Just by cleaning that place up, for me, it's love to my country. And doing that makes people happy, doing that makes people safe, doing that makes people healthy. Because staying in a very dirty place wouldn't even make you healthy.
Definitely. Yeah. I was reading up a story yesterday. They said police locked up a certain actress for spraying the new naira in an event, and then beyond just dashing it out like that, the people were stepping on it.
It's an offense.
It's an offense.
It's always been.
I mean, you can't be doing that and you tell me that you love the nation.
But also, even though it's an offense, but we, the Nigerian system and Nigerian weddings and everything, we're always spraying and matching money. But it's an offense.
because we're being lawless, but it is an offense.
That's not part of it.
I think it's a civil offense.
It's a civil offense.
So she was locked up.
Yeah, she was locked up. She was detained as of yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I don't know her fate today, but that is definitely not show of love.
Definitely.
Let me ask you, if
which one is not a show of love? The police locking her up?
No. Show of love is you not spraying it. Because I always wonder if I have a clothes that I like, a lovely one that I like, and it's expensive too. Would I put it on the floor for everybody to tread on?
Certainly not.
Definitely not.
So the same thing and the same money, when I pick it up and it's dirty, I find it difficult to put in my wallet.
Definitely.
So why do I want to be part of those who get it?
Yes.
So what you don't want,
so
why do you want to do it? So I think beyond voting, beyond picking garbage, we should ensure that we also respect the naira,
currency.
And then not just the naira. Wherever we find ourselves, if you want to show love to Nigeria, for instance, my organization is Nigerian Television Authority, and I come to work, and the facilities provided for me to work with, I won't even bother as much as clean them. I won't bother as much as take care of them. That's not true love for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because if that equipment spoils, I don't know how the money translates, gets down to them buying it back, but I still know that it's the people's money because it's government.
I agree with what you're saying, because people have this mindset that it's not my thing, it's not my own. So why do I need to take care of it? And it's showing of love. You have to take care of things that are not even yours for other people to be able to use them.
Okay. Now, could you speak on hate speech and all of that, and for the country?
Oh my, that is so, it's sad where we are now. I look back to a time when we were younger and Nigeria wasn't this toxic. We didn't have very hard lines separating us. We didn't have terrible religious dichotomy, either between Muslims and Christians, or even intra-religiously. You didn't have really harsh lines between different denominations within Christianity. It wasn't as bad as it currently is. So I find that the levels of toxicity keep rising, and it's not healthy for the nation, for the nation's growth at all. Sometimes, during like Salah festivities, I'll go on Facebook, make posts and be like, remember me, oh, remember me, the Salah Ram and everything. And on one or two occasions, I've had a few Muslim friends be like, well, we came to understand that when we give you guys food, the minute our back is turned, you toss it in the bin or you give the dogs.
It's a lie. I eat
like
everything,
Oh, really?
That's me.
I eat everything.
I eat everything.
In fact, all the people that didn't give me ram this last big Salah,
I eat.
I have their names.
I eat, and then
this year they must pay because for the next 1 month I'm not buying meat now.
And then on that same thread, you have Christians saying, "Well, we only started doing that when we discovered that when we give you Christmas rice, you throw it away too."
I never heard
so
that.
It gets ugly and all of this, and it doesn't help the country to move forward. There's no house divided that stands. And I really think that there are foreign interests that are vested in Nigeria's destruction because they will swoop in, and Nigeria is sitting on a literal gold mine. There's no part of Nigeria that is not sitting on top of some precious mineral or another.
True.
And the governments, successive governments we've had in place, have not been able to use these resources for the betterment of the nation. I think there are vested interests out there that feel that if they pitch us against each other and we fight and we disintegrate and everything, they can swoop in and strip us of our natural resources and put it to better use, since we don't know what to do with it, apparently. So some of these religious fights and things you hear, it's not strictly, the religion thing is a camouflage. Yeah? I mean, like, Nigeria, do you remember the days of ECOMOG? When Nigeria would gather our soldiers and intervene in West African countries that were having problems. Then all of a sudden, a ragtag bunch of street kids wake up in the northeast of Nigeria, and Nigeria's military cannot contain them. How? It's beyond what we are seeing. So the sooner we can begin to internalize that there's more to these things than we are being told, than what is put out.
What's really,
the sooner we can be more united.
Yes, what gets me really, on the wrong side, is when people sit down in the comfort of their homes, their bedrooms perhaps, and create stories that did not imagine, and they begin to spread it. I mean, recently somebody that I have a lot of respect for, sent me a picture or a video of a girl that was being flogged for certain reasons, and told me what was happening up north, that we should rise up to save the girl. I am not deaf. I'm not stupid. I decided to probe that thing. The language was foreign to me. So since I said it was not, I sent it to about 6 different persons. I said, please, which language is this? I didn't even ask them. All of them said it wasn't Nigerian. It was only one person that said it's a language that he thinks is heard in Somalia. And then here we are, somebody is being, piling a story that this girl, because she changed from one religion to the other and refused to marry at the age of 14, somebody was caning her and all of that. It wasn't, whether it's Somalia or wherever, I don't know. It's not right. But then it wasn't happening in Nigeria. And here you were spreading these things and causing chaos, inciting people negatively. So we should
And you see, the thing is that even if, like, the dominant language of the North is Hausa.
Yeah.
Now, even if it had been Hausa language spoken in that video, Hausa is an international language.
Yeah.
Hausa is spoken in Ghana.
Yes.
That is 2 countries away from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even Cotonou.
You understand?
Yeah.
So how am I definite that because Hausa is being spoken in this video, it is necessarily a Nigerian situation?
Yeah, for me, I think that's one thing we should really take seriously, putting false news outside. Because it causes chaos, it causes people to panic. Giving up false news, it's not nice. It's terrible.
It's horrible.
So, it's horrible.
You know, because what we should know is one day we could also decide to do a bad story. What goes wrong comes around. So if we decide to put up a bad story about you, who is putting up stories about Nigeria, how would you feel? But while you're thinking about that, let's quickly take a break. When we come back, another guest will be joining us. Don't go away.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start off the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. See if she wants to ask something. No, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
All right, so we are being joined halfway by my job here is not to say your name, so you say your name by yourself and who you are.
Thank you for having me. My name is Yetunde Bakari. I work as the program manager at the Young Africa Center for Legislative Engagement.
Okay, so I intentionally wanted you to spill it out by yourself because apart from being a tradition, I also want to pick up from what you said. Your organization represents what we know generally as not too young to run, right? I am told that you've gone past that and that you're bringing out young people to run. How many are in a position to run now?
So thank you very much. Yes, the Not Too Young to Run legislation passed, which is a constitutional amendment to reduce the age for contesting for offices in Nigeria. After that has passed, we saw an increase in the number of young people who contested for office in 2019. In 2023, the percentage for young people who are contesting is at 28%. So we have over 15,000 young people who are contesting for offices from the National Assembly, State Houses of Assembly, but from the analysis that Young Africa conducted on youth candidacy in the 2023 election, one of the findings is that more young people, parties are feeding young people for legislative offices. So we have more young people who are contesting for State House of Assembly and House of Representatives, but very minute number contesting for the executive offices, which is the governor position. What we also found is that there's a decline in the percentage of young people who are contesting in 2023 compared to 2019. And of course, that could be as a result of the reduction in the number of political parties in 2023. Like we know now, there are only 18 political parties who are eligible to contest in the to fill in candidates for the 2023 election. And of course, the heavy monetization of the electoral process, the cost of nomination form, the high cost for the expression of interest form, and also the heavy monetization of the political process. I mean, to emerge as the candidate of your political party is very, very, very expensive because it involves a lot of lobbying. You have to speak to leaders within your political parties, speak to even those who are going to vote you to emerge as a candidate of your political party. So these are some of the factors that limits and cost the reduction in the percentage of young people who are contesting in 2020.
So when you say, sorry, I'm going to put you on a seat for a while, perhaps because you join us much more later. When you say reduction, what's the percentage of the reduction?
So from 2019, it was at 35%, and this year is at 26%. Of young people who are contesting in the 2023 elections.
Okay, fact checks now. When we say young people, I have seen somebody who is about 55 years, who is, you know, a youth leader. What's your own idea? What's your arithmetics for a young person?
Okay.
You know, why are you laughing?
Very interesting that you brought up that age categorization on who exactly is a young person.
Is it the young at heart? Like I'm very young at heart.
Aren't we all young at heart?
We're all young at heart. Right? Even a 70-year-old man is young at heart.
Young at heart. I don't know.
So the National Youth Policy puts the age for young people as 15 to 25. But if you go to the threshold set by the African Union is under 35. And for those who are in legislative office, so there's a body, Interparliamentary Union, which is a body for parliaments globally, and they set the age threshold for young people as 45. So those who are under 45 are referred to as young. But within the Nigerian context, we adopt the African Union threshold, which is under 35 years old, and also with the passage of the Non Too Young to run constitutional amendments. The youngest age to contest for State House of Assembly is 25.
And I hope the person wins.
We've seen a number of them who won in 2019. So for those who were under 30 years old, we had about 16 of them who emerged as winners of their elections in 2019. And of course, we are hopeful that in 2023, that number will also increase.
Okay, let me let you take a breather because you just came in. I didn't let you settle down. I started firing you. I'll still come back to what you're doing and ensuring that the youth really show love to the nation. But before we brought her in, we're discussing about showing love in different places, and one of them was hate speech. I don't know, have you had somebody who was maybe probably calling Nigeria out on you? How did you handle it?
In this type of scenario, I don't really involve myself because it can escalate, and
the troll farms are so much.
Yes, and it can escalate. And as you said, people can be in their bedroom, lying down and posting false news, saying rubbish. And for me, I believe that keeping quiet or trying to ignore them will make them stop. Because if I keep fueling whatever they're doing online, whatever they're saying, it escalates to something else. And what we say on social media is where people dig up stuff. People dig up a lot of information, even though it's false, or maybe somebody just put it out there about you or something, and it makes you look very bad, and that can also tarnish the image of the country for me.
But as a champion of the youth like you are, when things like that come up, how do you manage it to ensure that some other people are not biased, negatively, or maybe some people are not moved off the radar, as we move along?
Uh, uh, instead instead of putting that online physically, everybody to see, I would rather send the person a message for us to come together and talk about it. And if he agrees to remove or stop what he's doing, fine. If he doesn't, then there are other procedures that we can take to stop that.
All right. So I don't know if you have other perspective to how to handle that.
Well, for me, like I have quite a good following on social media, Facebook,
I was
Twitter.
actually going to ask you how you were able to manage the troll farms when you were doing your political stuff, but just go ahead.
Well, yeah, I did have trolls. I had one particular person that used to make it a point to insult me and all of this. And well, I arranged somebody to insult him back.
You arranged?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean,
That's very good.
Yeah, no, I have a followership
I wouldn't do
too.
it personally, but I would like to arrange
I
someone
mean, like,
to...
this is politics. This is not the place where you come to show them how dainty you are, how soft, how... Yeah? So I got one of my... I'm like, you guys are asleep. You have this guy coming at me sideways on Facebook and all of you are keeping quiet. What's going on? And one of my followers took him on and they'll stay there and insult themselves till the sun came up, and I'll be like, oh. But when he got excited enough to come into my DMs, I told him, dude, go back and tell the person that's sponsoring you that I will win my nomination, and on that day he will be weeping into his tea when I'm announced.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to do that, but you don't do it on the open page and all of that. I don't. But now when it comes to and this person went as far as like insulting my parents and all of that, and that was why I was like, no. Usually what I do is you come at me sideways, I warn you, listen, what we're talking about here is meant to be a civil discourse. If you know that you cannot, handle this thing in a way that you can just marshal your thoughts without insulting people, you need to leave my page. I don't want you insulting me or insulting any other person. If you cannot contain your emotions, exit the page. You don't have to read my post. This is my page to do it as I please. And when you persist, I block you. That's my way of doing things. But now when it comes to putting out falsehoods about the nation generally, if you are the kind of person that I feel is approachable, I just fact check you. I'm like, okay, you've said this, 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 and this, but facts based on this news source and that news source and the other news source are pointing in a different direction. So I think you have your information wrong. Now, usually these people that are putting out this kind of falsehood are usually people who are just emotion driven. There are people who are given to knee-jerk reactions about things. So even when you try to tell them, listen, tone it down, you're wrong, no matter how politely you go about it, they'll come at you sideways, they'll try to insult you and so on. And for me, when it goes to that point, I'm like, oh, cool, sorry. It is your page, after all, So if I'm drawing your attention to the fact that you're wrong and it's upsetting you, I let it go in the hopes that other people that are following the thread and the conversation will stumble upon my contribution and be like, it will give them pause. An idea of what the facts are, But it's not something I engage in much. I'm not the soldier for Nigeria and anything. But that's what I do when I feel like it's really ugly. For my part, I try to fact check stuff before sharing. And even if it is true and I don't see any good coming out of me sharing it, I will not share it. One thing I also try to do is dissuade the Japa culture. Yes. It's not always better out there.
You can't show love by running away.
You can stay here and things can work for you.
Yeah.
It's not everybody that is in the UK, US, and Canada that has made it. Some people have been there for 20 years and they're still working in McDonald's. So don't assume that some people are working 3 jobs to have the lifestyle you have here with 1 job.
Yeah.
There's nothing over there like, hey, yeah, Martha is broke, let me send her a little money. No, there's nothing like that. You earn it strictly. You pay your rent weekly and things like this. So it's not like I'm against people traveling. If you feel like you really absolutely need to abscond, that's fine. but abscond with your eyes wide open. There's no country on earth that's perfect, and there's quite a lot about Nigeria that's good.
Yeah.
That only we choose not to see it because we don't have a wider worldview.
You know, what I essentially think is a lot of times what we don't have, we kind of think is better than what we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, some people, some of us have gone round and we're still here.
Yeah.
I understand that there's no place like home. Go to people who are in the UK, go to people who are in the US. When they come home at the airport, they are telling you home sweet home. That's the truth. No matter how long you are in a place, you're still a second-hand citizen. There's nothing like home. And if you understand the politics of things, the Western world will talk big about their country because they want us to feel little.
Yeah.
You will now team up with them and you begin to talk bad about your country. Meanwhile, I always tell people, if Nigeria is that bad, why am I seeing white people on the road? Yes, because they've come to tap.
Yeah.
They understand why we have great things here and they want to buy it. They want to take it. So if it was that bad, they shouldn't be here at all at all. Even right from the time of slave trade, if we did not have what they needed, how did that boat miss road go enter our Niger? It's the truth.
Yeah.
And when they got here, they refused to go because there's something about us. Always look inward. There's no need running down the nation because this country belongs to all of us. Whether we are old people, whether we're young people, it is our business. It's our package to make sure that we do it right. And you start by loving the nation. Now, I told you I was going to give you a breather. I'm coming back to you again. Still on young people, how do you recruit them?
Recruit them.
What I mean by how do you get them involved in politics? I mean, I was once a young person and I'm still a young person. I'm not interested in politics.
You're truly young at heart.
Yeah, I'm very young.
For young people, especially for those who are in secondary school, who are like the next generations, and those who are turning 18, who are going to be voting for the very first time in 2023 election, is first understanding that Nigeria is our home. We all have to play our parts in ensuring that Nigeria becomes the Nigeria of our dream. And it's by equipping them with the information on what is their civic responsibility as citizens, right? And that's why one initiative that Yaga Africa is involved in is going to secondary schools and equipping these young people with, things like human rights. What is human rights? And what are your civic responsibilities as citizens? Because we believe that once people are equipped with the right information, they are able to participate adequately in the political process. If people see the value in their votes and what their votes can do for them, people would turn out to vote on election day. So for us young people who are undecided on, why do I need to participate? Why do I need to come out and vote on election day? Is the understanding that your vote can make a difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if your vote does not count, politicians will be jumping over themselves to buy your vote on election day. They won't be trying to snatch ballot boxes on election day. If your vote is not important, all of this won't be happening. And understand that your vote by itself is powerful. I mean, being able to participate in the process and determining who your leaders will be, I think that's the beauty of democracy, right? The fact that your vote would allow you decide on who leads you, the kind of policies that interest you, the kind of conversation and legislation that you want to see your elected representative or the executive, make. I think it's very, very beautiful.
It's
and
key.
As young people, we have to,
yes,
come
your
out
vote
and vote.
is very powerful, and we're all going to come out starting the next less than 2 weeks. We'll be ensuring that our vote counts. Maybe 1 second, let's have your parting shot on how to love Nigeria.
Well, start with the small things.
Thank you.
Obey traffic lights. Don't toss trash out of your car.
Thank you. That is very important.
All right, so on a party note too, how do you show your love?
To Nigeria, go out and vote. It's in 2 weeks. I think everybody should go out and vote, and let's make a difference.
All right, if you love your nation, Ensure that you show that love by speaking right. You love your wife, you love your children, you love your husband. You don't wake up in the morning and call them trash. You wake up, you say, darling, good morning, how are you? You know, that's how you do. Nigeria. Good morning, Nigeria. How are you? I love you, Nigeria. And you go ahead and show it. That's the much you can take today. Next week, we'll be flowing with this topic again. Do join us. And then we'll bring you very young people to come in and express their love for Nigeria. I'll see you then. My name again is Elizabeth Devan.
Yetunde.
Yetunde.
Farida.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.